without further ado, let me introduce Colby here, who's leading the charge at Seminole Innovators and has his own innovation story to share with you today. Thanks, Colby.
Thank you so much. All right, hello everyone. Thank you so much, Ken, for the introduction, and you should definitely check out that design sprint if it's something that you're interested in. Welcome again to the Seminole Innovators Lunch Hour, featuring me. So a little bit about me. My name is Colby Jacobs. I am the co-founder and current president of Seminole Innovators. I am a junior in computer science, and I have a minor in innovation. But how did I get to where I am today talking to all of you? I think the best way to answer that question is to start at the beginning. And when I was a lot younger, I had a lot of hobbies that pretty much led me to where I am today on my innovation journey. And so yeah, as I said, when I was younger, and although soccer is a pretty cool hobby, I don't think we have time to start that early, so I'm gonna jump ahead to my senior year of high school. So at this point in my life, I've had a lifetime love for video games, and I've taken a few coding classes, so it only made sense that when a district competition came around for making my own video game, I jumped on it right away. So after about a month of work, me and a couple of my friends, we ended up making Swap Dash, which is the first big creative project I've ever actually made, and something that I was very proud of. It's essentially a 2D platformer that's also kind of like a puzzle, where you have to go through the levels and you're trying to beat your score, your time, every single time you play the game. And as I talk about the process of making this game, it could get a little boring, so just for some visual stimulation, I've included a GIF of the game just so no one gets too bored. So I made this game using a software called Game Maker Studio, and I had to learn how to use this software as well as its cleverly named programming language, GML, or Game Maker language. And as well as learning these new softwares and new programming language, I had to learn new programming concepts as well, which is something I never dealt with before, like physics, mechanics, gravity, and quite frankly, making code that did something more than just display text on a screen. And throughout this hard process, I was completely obsessed. It became something that it was my sole project that I worked on during the last few months of my senior year, and I neglected a lot of my other responsibilities, but it worked out because I made it to college, so I guess that's chill. And this project also convinced me to do computer science because I really just loved all the creative aspects that you could do with something, and all the problem solving, and programming itself is almost like a puzzle, and I just really loved being able to work hard and try to solve each individual problem that arose during this process. So then this takes me to my freshman year here at FSU. This was a very big year for me because I discovered the Innovation Hub through a tour through my freshman interest group, and I immediately fell in love with the place because it had everything that I liked, virtual reality, lots of new tech that I've never experienced before, and it quickly became my favorite place to study, also because I lived right in Azalea, so it was a really short walk over here. And I also began working at a virtual reality arcade in Railroad Square. This got me even more hands-on experience with virtual reality technology, as well as problem solving with technology I've never used before. Here's a picture that I took right near the beginning of my job there. So those guys in the arena there are playing laser tag, and I even got to learn how to operate that ride that you see on the right there. It goes fully upside down, and I was just allowed to operate that and strap people in and strap a headset on their head. And yeah. I also, through a completely unrelated organization called the Environmental Service Program, I met Jacob back there, and remember him because he'll be important later. This is also the semester that I won the Innovation Hub's Beat Saber tournament. And this is a picture of my most prized possession, and because we haven't had another one of these since then, I guess I'm still the reigning champion. But I think it also might be my job to plan these now, actually. So I guess, yeah, that leads me to my sophomore fall, where Wes and Jacob were working together to try to turn the Seminole Innovators program into a registered student organization. And when Jacob approached me about that idea, I jumped on it immediately because I wanted to be even more involved with the Innovation Hub. So yeah, as I said before, this involved us turning the program that already existed, which was essentially a list of tasks that you had to do to become a Seminole Innovator, and we had to turn that into a registered student organization, which was a very hard process, but Jacob and I both were going for the innovation minor, so we had the design thinking skills necessary to try to work through that problem. And it involved us trying to make a more collaborative environment, so anyone that joins the club would be a Seminole Innovator, and it wouldn't be like kind of like an end goal. It'd be something that like you're a Seminole Innovator and you're working towards creating your own projects. But we did have some ideas, some difficulties in the beginning conveying the idea, because when we were talking about it and like tabling at places, it was hard for us to describe what our club actually did because we didn't have any projects that existed at the moment. So it was hard to say like, oh yeah, come to our club where we're going to be working on projects, because we didn't really have anything to show yet. So then this is how we started our first semester as a official registered student organization in the spring of 2023. So this involved us overcoming challenges. We kept tabling even though we didn't really know how to describe our club to people, and we did Market Wednesday and a lot of times, and we did a couple in the Involvement Fair that semester. Here's a picture of me tabling at Market Wednesday, and thank you to Wes for always biking out there and bringing me all these supplies because I would not be able to carry them by myself. And we also got to do a lot of fun events this semester. This was a picture from our interest meeting where we got to meet a lot of people, and a lot of the people in this picture are officers now, so it's awesome that they've been sticking around since the beginning. We got a huge turnout for that. And then we also got to do, Daniel led an Ableton workshop, which is like a music production software. He brought his guitar in, and it was a really, really cool event. And I didn't take any pictures from this event, but I did a Python workshop. It was my first time teaching code, and I thought it was a really fun experience. And we also had Lucas come and talk at one of our meetings, and he brought Obi, and some miraculous thing happened where there was like an entire folder on our drive with pictures, but they all vanished. So it was our biggest event. We had pizza, and it was like maybe like 40 people were there, but just imagine how like a really cool meeting with Lucas on a robot. Just use your imagination for that one. And you would think with all these great events that we didn't have any difficulties, but you would be sadly mistaken, because it was still really hard for us to encourage student projects. So I sat down with the board of Seminole Innovators. I sat with Jacob and one of our past officers, Pat, and we were trying to think about the kinds of people that we would bring to our club and how we would give them confidence to start their own projects. So in order to combat people not having the confidence to start their own projects, we thought it would be a good idea to start projects of our own that were kind of like started by Seminole Innovators in order to give students confidence to build their own projects after participating in the projects that we provided, or just seeing that projects are happening and then getting the confidence to be like, hey, I can start my own project too. So, and that's what led us into our second semester, which was this last fall. And we hit the ground running this semester with a full officer team, who are all very, very great. And we also had a lot of projects and a lot more engagement from students. Like here's Lily pitching her Billy Bass project that she just told you about. That is actually not the same slide, so just ignore that. She did not reuse the same one. And that is Jacob doing a VR Unity development kind of like workshop thing for his VR escape room game. So I took a picture of him while he had the headset on because I thought it was funny. And this was from our end of semester game night. We had a lot of engagement from this one. We even got food for it, which was super awesome because that's something that we couldn't do before. And now we had different difficulties. Now I found that it was hard to balance projects and events because we had a lot of project engagement last semester, but not a lot of events, and we had to reuse a couple of the same types of workshops over and over again. So in order to combat that, we just sat down and made sure to make a solid plan that would incorporate all three of our pillars of our organization. And so that's how I got to where I am today, this semester. But Seminole Innovators and me are not done growing and changing. Because now we finally found a balance where we have a ton of projects, and because we have so many projects and events planned for this semester, it could get a little boring, so I've included the GIF again from before. So yeah, we have you already heard about Jacob's VR escape room project, Sydney. We're going to be doing handheld gaming devices where students are going to be able to get their own kits and be able to build their own gaming devices which they can load games onto. It'll be a really cool experience. And one that's on the table right now is building a drone, so we can teach aerodynamics and robotics to try to teach students how to build drones that maybe they could even race with each other. We also are going to be doing an environmental sustainability project with another organization. Lily told you about her Biggest Mouth Billy Bass project. We could also, it's not tabled for this semester yet, but there is an option for a 3D printed guitar because we have a plan for it. Also, same thing for the weather stations, and you've already heard about Aries' Bricks for the Blind Lego project. And we also want to start a Seminole Innovators magazine this semester, which would incorporate graphic design, photography, and even 3D printed wearable fashion to try to maybe rival with those other fashion magazines on campus. So other events that we have, the GIF is still there just in case. Other events we have is the Seminole Innovators Space Exploration and Development, Student Exploration and Development of Space 3D Printing Workshop. That's going to be on February 8th. We're also going to be doing a Seminole Innovators X the Environmental Service Program Sustainable Campus Project, where we're going to be learning about sustainability issues on campus and working with that other organization to try to come up with a solution that we could implement on campus to try to just like leave a positive impact. And then also we're going to be working with the Generational Relief and Prosthetics Club for a SolidWorks workshop, which is a industry-level CAD software that a lot of people would be interested in, I think. And also, we're going to be doing a robotics workshop with Arduino with an unnamed professor at the moment, but it's going to be a really big event. Excuse me. And also, we're going to be doing another end-of-semester game night and Seminole Innovators After Dark game night, where we'll be staying open after the club ends. This was all Wes's idea, but we'll get that planned and get that information out shortly. So all of these things that we're going to be able to accomplish this semester are made possible by a structure that encompasses all of our pillars: collaboration, skills, and recognition. And it's all made possible by the design thinking skills that I learned through the innovation minor and through Eric's class. I don't know where he went, but and we'll be doing and through collaborating with our officers and other organizations to try to learn from them, because it's really cool that as a club, we're able to collaborate with so many other organizations that teach so many different skills, and we can bring them all into one place and try to share their mission statements with everyone too. And a huge thank you to Wes for essentially trusting Jacob and I and the officer team with what is essentially your baby, and just letting us and giving us your full support always. I really appreciate it. And to Jacob, thank you so much for laying a wonderful foundation. We would not be able to be standing as a club as we are today without your work that you did. And the Seminole Innovators officer team, thank you for sticking around, even though sometimes things didn't seem like they had a super clear direction, but you guys stuck by all the way through, and I really appreciate it. If there's anything to take away from this talk, it's that innovation is not just a one and done thing. Sometimes you have to learn new skills, see things through another perspective, or go back to the sticky note board every once in a while. If something doesn't work out. And yeah, much like myself, Seminole Innovators is not done growing and changing, and there's still much work to be done that can make it the best it can be. Thank you. Oh yeah, any questions? Sorry, yeah. Yes?
Can we actually do that safe return again?
Yeah, I'll get that set up. Oh, I'll have someone else plan that because it's going to conflict with my my trophy. There you go.
Can we give a round of applause?